really need to come up with some intro music here somehow, some way. Good morning, everyone. This guy right here, this is Dale Maxwell. You are at KickASSery, and I am super freaking stoked today. I'm stoked for every day that we're doing this. The gentleman we have today on the show, he's not a local. You'll soon find that out. He doesn't even live on the same continent, and yet we're making all this work. Wow. What is KickASSery for those of you who are brand new? This is my opportunity to reach out and have conversations. This is not an interview program. This is a conversation program where I talk to people who have influenced me. They've either directly influenced me in my life or they've indirectly influenced me, and I've reached out to them and they've agreed to be on here. And this is one of those opportunities. This young gentleman helped me without even knowing he helped me. He runs this program, BeLive in 5, and he allowed me to be on a show for a short period of time. And after his show, I learned something. He sent me this thing in Messenger, and I'm like, wow, how does this work? And that was my introduction to Messenger bots. So with that, I would love to hear from this young gentleman as soon as it unmutes it. Awesome. Steven Healey. Good morning, sir. Who are you? Where do you come from? And what do you do, boss?
I come from the UK. I'm based in Wiltshire in England. I enjoy live video, and first thing I've got to do is say hello to Claudia and RJ and Michelle. It's about networking for me, and I've been fortunate over the last couple of years that I've been broadcasting to be involved with a fantastic group of people and to be live on video with them, as I am with you today. During that time, I've been from Blab, which many people won't remember because it no longer exists. But if you do, I probably saw you there. And then BeLive.tv came along in October 2016, and live video just took off. They are the leaders in live video. And I'm fortunate to count Zafria and Daniel amongst my friends and started broadcasting on BeLive. And now we've got 5 shows a week, one of which is with RJ. So that's me on live video, teaching courses on Udemy, and I've got a book on Amazon, but that's out of date already. I mean, the thing was that the book was written 18 months ago, and it was about live video, and everything has changed. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And it just changes so stinking quickly. And this young lady right here, Tina, one of your co-hosts, Tina, did I say that right?
You didn't. No, it's RJ.
It's RJ, but one of your co-hosts introduced me to RJ.
Ah, right. Okay, Tina. Yes.
So yep. Tina introduced me to RJ, and RJ has been educating this crazy redneck on what bots are. Brilliant. Because you had sent me through your messenger, you had sent me this thing. I'm like, and I don't know if you remember, I actually direct messaged you. I was like, okay, you don't know me. I just saw this. How in the heck does this even work? And you were very gracious, and you responded back very quickly. And I was like, I get awestruck, Steven. I get it happens because you have a phenomenal following. You have a great program that you run. You run in circles with people that are very successful in live streaming. And for you to respond back to me and say, oh, well, this is how you do it, and this is what you do, and here's some screenshots, and here's some video. And I was like, oh, it was awesome.
Thank you. You're most welcome. I mean, I enjoy actually teaching people. I mean, that's why the course is on Udemy. Because I enjoy taking something complicated and breaking it down to simple steps. And live broadcasting is not complicated if you just take your time. It's like learning a language. If you were to learn French or German or Italian, then you'd have to take some time. But if you do it step by step, it's easy.
Yeah, and it's just becoming easier and easier and easier. You know, the entry knowledge is I mean, literally, if you want to do live streaming, you grab your phone, you go to Facebook, you hit the live, you're live streaming. I mean, it's that simple. It really is. And go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just agreeing with you. You're quite
Yeah.
right.
Ooh, oh, he was agreed with me. I'm so smart. No, just joking. So yeah, absolutely, and it's awesome, Stephen, because more and more people that I was just telling Stephen guys just before we got started that part of my background, I went to college for broadcast technology, so I was going to be a radio television guy behind the camera. I wasn't the in front of the camera guy. At that time, there was no way on God's green earth you were going to get me in front of a camera. But I loved the technology. I started out as a DJ. I ran our high school radio station. It was great. And I loved the technology, but my life took a left turn and it just didn't, I didn't go into the industry. And now come
Yeah.
full circle, now I'm back in the industry and it's easier than ever before and it's exciting and now it's global. It's not just regional where we're just
Yeah.
reaching however far our radio transmission can get. This is global. I mean, look at us sitting here.
Totally. We're connecting the UK and the US. I mean, this is what struck. I do a show on Mondays with David Burrows, and he's based in Ontario in Canada. And we get on well, simple as. And he's part of the BeLive in 5 team. And we started a show called Build Your Community. And we were thinking, because David is been a live broadcaster for the last 8 years, and he broadcasts for his local community. He broadcasts sports and events, and he's got a big fan club. And we thought, right, we'll talk about broadcasting to your community. And we thought about it being local. So we're saying, start your own local TV station on live video.
Mm-hmm.
But then we realized that, as you just said, it's not local. This is global. I mean, we can go into offices around and homes around the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just brilliant.
It is. It absolutely is. And what I love about you, and you just hit a nail on the head that I've been talking about for some time in a different industry, but it coalesces, is that anymore there's very few families, friends that live in the same community their entire lives. We're a very
Yeah.
transient world now, not just
Yeah.
United States, but we're a very transient world. And I'm a military wife now, so we are very transient. Every couple of years, we're always moving.
Yeah.
The beauty of this now is that even if you do a local sports program, a local news program, whatever it is, local, guess what? There's people who used to live there that now would love to have that information and now they can't.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, quite right. I totally agree with you.
Right.
Totally agree.
Absolutely. So I love it. So now you are really okay. So guys, just so you understand, you're seeing this on Facebook, but the back end, how we're managing, like you just saw that pop up on the screen, how I'm managing all that is a platform called BeLive.tv. And Steven, you're like the guru when it comes to this format. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a synopsis of what this is?
Okay. Basically, to go live on Facebook, as you said earlier, you can only use your mobile phone and it's just you on screen. If you want something more than that, you need to use an application on your desktop. And we're both on our desktops at the moment. BeLive TV allows you to have 4 people on screen. So that's 2 people plus Dale and I. It allows Dale to see the comments down the right-hand side and to bring them on screen, as he's been doing. And it goes live to Facebook. And it's just the quality of this in terms of the audio and video can not be surpassed. It's the best way to go live on Facebook. BeLive.tv has thousands of users and global support. And I think the thing about this that sets this product above everything else is there's a group which we're in, which is called the BeLivers. Mm-hmm. And in the BeLivers group, you can ask any question and get an answer. There's a team of people there who can answer your questions, again, 24/7, because the membership of the club is global. So if you've got a question about live broadcasting, the best place to ask it is in the BeLivers group. The other thing is that if you have a problem while you're broadcasting, I'll review why you might have. There's a very small chance that you could have a problem. The support team is global as well, and they're available on Messenger to everybody who's broadcasting, and you just type in your question or you just hit the button that says support and they'll get back with an answer. Now, the technology we're using, BeLive make this very simple. You just go to your browser, BeLive.tv, press create a show, give it the title, the description, add your branding, because you can have your own branding, you can have your own colorways, you can have your own, everywhere, you can have all those. And once you've done that, you just press create broadcast. That puts a post on Facebook. Okay, so you created it on BeLive, post is on Facebook, and then there's a little button right hand side and it says start, and you just press start, and here we are.
It's that easy.
Yeah,
it's that easy. And this is technology, so every once in a while there's a goof up and a hiccup and whatever, and I've had very few hiccups. Most of the hiccups have been operator error. Specifically, when I first started, I was like, push buttons, grunt, cough. And yet, even with that, the basics are very easy. And the thing that I really enjoy about this platform is that there's a lot you can do, but it's been very simplified. It's been kissed down very well.
No, it's been, totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, you don't have to have you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work this. All you need to have is just the patience. And I don't know, maybe the actual, when you go live, there's a buzz, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually, I mean, if you take to it, then there's a buzz every time when you're about to go live. It's like going on stage. You get a little bit of nerves, and you got to do the routine to get ready.
Yeah.
But once you've got through the routine, once you go live, once that you're on the screen, then it's just calm. I mean, now it's just like we're just talking to each other, and that's how brilliant it is, because the way that BeLive put it together, it's just us having a discussion, and I can see Jason and RJ and Michelle, but it's just you and I talking, and it's just so natural.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought that up, Steven, because I started a program that is going to go live next week. It's called KickASSery Live 101, because there's a lot of people in my circle that either want to do live. I see that they have something that needs to be shared with the world, or they've dabbled in it and they're just like that fear factor, right?
Yeah.
And so whether they do a conversation like you and I are on here, or they're just doing a talking head presentation. So that's exactly what this 101 class is just helping people get over that initial fear of, I basically call it Toastmasters for live streaming, is basically what it is. Just trying to get people over that fear factor of kind of a deal. And the few that we've done so far, people are like, and it's amazing, just after a couple hours of working with a few folks, just that woo-saw moment of, this is okay, and I'm not going to die, and the roof isn't going to cave in. Everything's okay.
I mean, the key to it is, and this is why your one-to-one works well, is that the confidence that you have rubs off, especially on a one-to-one situation. And the other thing is that when they go live for the first time, when anybody goes live for the first time, if you enjoy it and you've got somebody supporting and cheering you on, and you have a successful first broadcast, then you're going to do a second, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. If you have a bad time first time around, then you might not come back for a few months. But get a good broadcast under your belt, and that's worth everything, isn't it?
Now, let me ask you this then. We had talked about actually broadcasting, an actual program. If I'm just Joe Schmo, who either I love bees, or I love to write, or I have a knick-knack or a paddywhack or something, that I just want to share with the world, or I just have a really unique perspective on XYZ. Why? And I have my answer, but what's your response? Why should they share that with the world?
Can you just repeat that last bit? I just got.
No, you're fine. Why should they share that with the world, as a live streamer? Because I'm hearing of course, we all get pushback. You know, when I see something, I hear something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Not everybody has the personality to do that. That's fair. But if they do have that personality, why should they?
Well, basically, main reason is that when you have a product to sell, what you can't do is just go live and sell it, because people just turn away. I mean, if we mention the word webinar, there are people who like webinars and people who don't, and you can either join one or not. But on Facebook and on YouTube, you've got to be a social person. And if you can be social, if you can build a network over time, then you're actually building people who will buy into you and what you're interested in, because you're returning the favor, and they will become friends and customers. And it's not an overnight thing, but you can create your own network wherever you like. And once you've got the network and you go live, I've got a friend, let's just put it this way. I've got a friend called Dan. Now, Dan runs his own chocolate factory. He's a very lucky guy. He makes raw chocolate. Okay. And he and his wife started this 7 years ago in the kitchen at home. And they were going for 4 years, and then doing so well that they've got a factory, and they've got their own chocolate factory. Think Willy Wonka. He's not far out.
Wow.
And he's very personable. And over the last 2 years, he's built up a network on Facebook. Yep. Purely and simply, one person at a time, one conversation at a time, build up a business network. And we went live on his page. I produced and he hosted, and he did an introduction. Then with a mobile cam, he did a demonstration of making raw chocolate, or making chocolates from raw chocolate, live. He did it live. And it was about 15 minutes, and he took the 4 ingredients that make the chocolate, and effectively 10 minutes later, he got the mold with the finished chocolates in. Then he went on and did a special offer. I said, I've just shown you this chocolate kit. Normally it would be $18, but if you order it now, it'll be $15. What happened? People ordered. So because he built, this is a real life story. It happened on the 1st of May. So it's not old news. This happened this week.
This is just a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
He had a fantastic show. He's got a great rapport with everybody who's watches his page. I've tried to convince him to go live more, and he will. And it's because he's done the spade work, because he's gone one conversation at a time, because he's helped people. It works. So I know that it works. And if I was looking for an exemplar of it, I would say that Elements for Life on Facebook is somebody to check out, especially if you like chocolate. Right. Okay. So that's a real life story. And,
I do. I'm a big fan.
We
I'm
all
a
do.
big fan.
We all do. The thing about raw chocolate is the raw chocolate is good for us. Yeah.
It's got the antioxidants.
Couple of pieces of chocolate a day, and you're good. Yeah. This is, and it's healthy.
Elements for Life.
Elements for, yeah, I know. It's basically, he's a vegan.
Okay.
Into yoga, and these are all the elements for life.
Okay.
And he and his wife Paula are just amazing folk who help everybody. And you'll find a link to the show itself on the BeLive in 5 page, and that's
perfect
if you want to go and see it.
Perfect.
But that's live video. As we've been saying, you cannot. 2 things. One, you've got to get over the fear, which is where your classes come in. And the second thing is you've got to build a network. And if you build that network, you can be successful and make money.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new approach. Build a network first, get to know people, and then you can sell. If you've got anything to sell, you might be giving things away. It's the same principle. It's the same principle. I know people who run charitable events, and they use the same principle. They will do an event, and then they'll do broadcasts about the event to push people to the event on Facebook. So anything's possible.
Oh,
Anything
absolutely.
at all.
And there's 1,500 different ways to do it as well. You know, that's what's
Yeah.
Okay, so I've received a couple amazing pieces of advice from some very successful live streamers.
Okay.
Jenny Q is one of them that
Yep.
has been a huge inspiration and a mentor to me. What's some of the, when you started or as you've gone through this, what are some of the best pieces of advice you've received when you've gone through like your growth spurts or hit plateaus?
All right. Okay. The best piece of advice is are as follows. First one is from David Vaughan, and it's very simple and straightforward. When you are live, play for the replay. 70% of the views of any video, as we both know, come after the show is finished. I mean, it's fantastic that we've got 12 people watching us live at the moment, and we're grateful for everyone. And live is best, and your comments are fantastic, but it's the replay afterwards as well, and the repurposing, because this can go, the video can go to YouTube too. Second piece of advice was, if you're serious about this, then get some equipment. You can start broadcasting from your desktop with your internal microphone and your internal camera. Nothing's stopping you. And whilst you're practicing and getting to know things, then that's the way to go. But once you want to go and for people to watch and stay, then you need a camera. And which camera is yours before I name the wrong one?
Logitech. I'm using the 720.
Right, Logitech, good. Logitech's good. Logitech C920 is the camera of choice for most broadcasters. You'll find it without advertising and no affiliate links. You'll find Amazon for about $50, $60.
Yep.
That's your camera. And then microphone, you can spend what you want. I do the course on Udemy, and Udemy state that you must have the good quality sound, because people don't necessarily want to watch a course, they want to listen to it. So the sound's got to be perfect. So I've got a Sony lapel mic, which is about $30, and those two have been my standby in the last 2 years. And the next person I'd like to mention is a gentleman called Jeff Adams. And it's true. I was fortunate to be on, there was a show called BeLive Weekly, in fact it still is, but Jeff used to run it this time last year. And I was on there, I was giving tips and tricks about live broadcasting. And we get on famously, we're good friends now. And I just watched him. And he doesn't know that I wasn't only listening to him, I was watching how he presented the show. And I think watching other people's shows is fantastic, because you actually learn so much.
Yep.
And so to everybody who broadcasts, I'll just say thank you, because I just enjoy watching. It's not just about the talking.
Absolutely. And the best piece of advice I've gotten so far is all of those things. Plus, I get caught up specifically in the Facebook world of this. I get caught up in the numbers. You know, okay, what's our viewership? What's our time? What's our reach? What's our this? What's our that? And a while back, 4 or 5 months ago, I was like, man, my numbers, they're not growing. They're not this, they're not that. And Jennifer Quinn, Jenny Q, she's like, Dale, stop. Did you have one viewer and did you impact them today? Yeah. Win. Done. That's a win. And you've already said it, building it one person at a time. And I was like, okay, I still pay attention to the numbers and making sure that things are working. But I'm like, okay, fair enough. You're right. We have 6 people live right now. Done. Thank you guys. This is a win. I can go throughout the rest of the day and be thumbs up and be perfectly fine with it.
But that's it. It is the one new person, because basically, I'll tell you what I do after the show, after one of my shows. Okay, I look at the numbers. I'll be honest. I just want to know.
Right.
Yeah. And I look at the minutes watched. But then I become active. I go to Facebook Messenger for the page, and as we all do, I like and reply to comments where it's not been covered in the show. But the other thing I do is that if it's somebody I've not met before, there's now a message button, and I will write to them. If somebody's commented on the show, I will write to them, and not a big letter, just thank you for watching the show, thank you for commenting. It's great to connect. If you need anything at all, then just message me. And that's the way. That's done personally. It's not a bot involved in that. This is
Right.
personal. This is really personal. You're actually writing to people and getting to know them, and that's the thing that actually builds. And that's why, as you said, as we talked about earlier, it's the replay as well. Because if you're watching a show and you're watching us live now and you comment, we know that you have. If you're watching the replay, which you aren't at the moment, but you know where I am, then if you leave a comment on a replay as well, that would be good.
Yes.
There is a movement which is sort of getting there, which is if you visit a show and you enjoy it, then do two things. One, share it, because that helps us all.
Yeah.
And the second thing is leave a comment and just put #replay. And that means that you saw that show on the replay. And for people, for myself and Dale, if we see that on a show, we know that people are watching the replay and being engaged by it. And that's gold.
Yep. So, here's RJ's piping in. The bot is just a gateway to a live conversation. Absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely. So, you know what? We're at pushing on our half an hour already, Steven.
Wow.
This is just insane. This time goes so quick.
It really does. It really does. Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure chatting. If anybody's got any questions, then please do ask. Dale and I will be happy to answer them. And if you're not connected to either of us at the moment, then we're open to connections. And I'm just going to basically, I'm going to just turn the tables for a moment and ask you, what do you enjoy about live broadcasting?
That's a very valid question. The thing that I like about live broadcasting for me is, once again, going back full circle. So as a broadcaster, it was, you had your live broadcasting, but it was very, 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 very structured, specifically in news. And there wasn't a lot, when I was going to school, there wasn't a lot of live, unless it was sports or news. Everything else was pre-canned.
Yeah.
And we actually did the production side as well. So we did a lot of production work, can work, meaning that you film it, video it, and then you post-produce. So then that way everything's tight. Me personally, I get more anxiety when I have to do a canned video, because I feel that I have to be tight, and I don't like doing post editing. So I want to do it in one take and blah, blah. Live, it's free. If I screw up, if I stutter, if I say something wrong, nothing I can do about it.
Nope, that's true. That's it.
And for me, and I know I'm backwards to a lot of people, to me that's liberating, and I flow much better in a live setting, and it's the immediate feedback a lot of times, especially having a conversation with you, is we're having a conversation. We're not on a phone. We're how many thousands of miles apart? It's what, 3 o'clock right now for you.
It is, yeah. It's in the afternoon.
And that's what I really love about live, and being that it's also way more embraced now than it was even 2 years ago. Across all the platforms. When Facebook picked it up, I don't know, what was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever Facebook jumped on the live part, I was like, okay, game changed. We're rocking and rolling. So, and now I love to see how other people are taking up the mantle and going through the learning pains and figuring it out. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just that I love seeing people take the challenge, and jumping on.
Yeah, I mean, more and more people are taking that step, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're teaching people. What do you find that what are the key problems that people have? Fears?
I think, okay, so the way I see it is, this is public speaking. Is really what this is. And in Western culture, public speaking, the fear of public speaking ranks right up there with spiders, snakes, and death. For a lot of people, because their fear of ridicule, judgment, backlash. that magnifies when it's online, because then we have the trolls and the nasty people that are, the society guardians or whatever you want to call them. So people are really afraid of that pushback and that ridicule. But to be honest with you, I haven't experienced any of those in the 4+ years, almost 5 years I've been doing live streaming, and almost 1,000 live streams I've done over that time. I really haven't received that. Now, maybe I'm not pushing the right buttons. Maybe I don't know. The other fears are people are just afraid of saying the wrong thing and sounding stupid. And their self-confidence, they're like, well, who, and this, I'm speaking from the pulpit on this one, because this is what prevented me from doing it for a very, very long time, is who the hell am I? Who's going to listen to me? I'm nobody, right? Why would anyone spend their precious time wasted on listening to me?
That's the mindset. It's a mindset, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so and I guess what's really fun about doing this is all of those things that I just said, I have lived.
Right.
And I've lived very deeply. And I've got a long, long story to that. But now that I've overcome a lot of those things and I've been on the other side, I can see these people. I'm like, listen, it's not going to kill you because I'm still here.
It won't. Truly. And I love Summer's comment as well.
Yes, absolutely. So she's our welcome wagon. She's on almost every KickASSery episode welcoming the new ass kickers. So there you go.
Teamwork. That's what builds most successful broadcasts, is that there's a person in front of camera with guests, but there are people who support. And to actually, I'm grateful for the team that are involved, and it is a group of people. So shout outs, because you mentioned 2 of them so far, and I mentioned a third. David Burrows, we're live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Tina Shang and I are live at 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. RJ and I are live at 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. I'm live on my own today at 12 p.m. And on Fridays, we connect the UK with South Africa. And I'm live at 1 p.m. with Brigetti. So it's a team, a close-knit team of people who become friends, all because of this live broadcasting. We didn't know each other before. Now, we're just meeting so many people, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so now, with all that, so you have 5 shows you do a week, and then of course you jump on shows like mine when you're invited, and you're very gracious. I want to say thank you very much, Steven, for being so gracious to be here to educate us and have a great conversation. Now, let me ask you this: you've got 5 shows, 5 different, very different intents? Is that
is that
an okay way to put it?
Yep.
Now, for some of us, let me back up. I'm trying to wrap my head around on your business model, and I'm not asking you to give away your milk either, but on your business model, do all of those support an arc of what you do? Maybe your Udemy classes or something else?
That's right.
Or do each one of those have a specific purpose?
Yep. They're all tied back to the BeLive in 5, which I started with Tina Shang last June. And they're tied back to the Udemy courses and to sponsorships. And that's how the whole thing fits together. I mean, my day job is I'm a software guy, and I create software for manufacturing distributors. And I've been doing that for quite a while. But the whole video thing all revolves around BeLive in 5, the Udemy courses and sponsorships.
Okay. Because I'm doing one of these. I have this shiny squirrel syndrome issue. I'm like, especially when it comes to all of this, I'm like, ooh, that'd be a good idea. Ooh, I want to do that. Ooh, I want to do a show on this. Ooh, I want to, And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to manage myself, and hopefully some of you guys can could recognize, or anyway, my brain just went dead. Is see live, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's live. I mean, the thing about this is that, I mean, it looks good now. It looks okay. We've got the 5 steady shows a week, and you've got 6 people involved. It didn't start like that. It was very. You've got to try things, and all of a sudden, you wake up one morning, you think, I can stitch this together and make that. And that's the way it happens. You've got to experiment first, and then an idea comes along, and you just run with the idea. And it's, if you persist, 3 things: persistence, patience, and the will to win.
Mm-hmm.
And and as RJ would say, a plan.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's things just do come together. And through live video, we do have the ability to actually reach out and build something rather special. And it's been a pleasure being here today. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so with that, let's wrap this up, man. Usually I ask for like one last little piece of advice, but you took it before I even had to ask for it. So Steven, I really, really appreciate you, man. I really do. I appreciate you initially. I don't know, 2 months ago, whenever it was, I saw that you had your BeLive in 5, and I think it was that show. I can't remember now. And you're like, hey, if you guys want to be on, type guest, and I'll bring you on. I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, I was like, all right, I'll test this, because I had just finished one of my KickASSeries, and so I was all set up. I was sitting here. I was like, okay, let's see how this works. Let's see. And you brought me right on. There was no preamble to it. You weren't like, there wasn't any prequel quote. You were just like, hey, how you doing? Where are you from? What do you do? I'm like, hi guys, you know? And so I really appreciate that, man. That is something super unique, because I see so many live streamers so controlling of what they're doing, and you're just like, what's up guys, how you doing? I love it.
Thank you. It's the approach I enjoyed, and it works, and so it serves today, and I just enjoy being here. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Steven, do you mind, when we're all finished here, throwing your contact info or what you're willing to share down in the comments, so people can...
I'll certainly do that. And to everybody who's been watching, see you again soon.
All right, stick around for just a second. I got to do my outro, and then we're going to be good, man. Holy smokes, guys. How freaking... Okay, let's break this down for a second. I'm sitting in my office, and if you could see, this is all staged. This looks all really nice. Yeah, it's a freaking disaster, right? But it looks okay. And this gentleman allowed me on a show. He jumped out. He's like, hey, here's some information. Tina was like, hey, you need to talk to RJ. RJ and I have become very close. She's helped me out on a project that's going to go live next week, which is super ridiculously, crazily awesome. And it was all her idea. I just implemented it. I would have never known RJ. I would have never known, even had the balls to reach out to Steven, if I hadn't been doing this for a little while. And I just let myself go. I'm like, you know what, why not? And now he's here educating us from the UK, and this is just going to keep building and building and building. The only reason I'm doing this is because of you guys, because you've been such an amazing, stupendous support, and I thank you. I truly do. So thank you very much for being here. Wow, something just got stuck in my throat. Guys, go out, have an amazing, kick-ass, stupendous, freaking amazing day, and don't forget to smile, because somebody's going to need it. I'll talk to you guys soon.